enough companies out there that fulfill the need that Sedona Springs does, where you're actually going and getting the water and you know it's coming from the earth and you're putting it in glass bottles and all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just getting people to believe that. That's the hard part, because so many companies lie and are deceptive with marketing that, like, when you say, no, like, if you just drink the water that is from the earth, it's better for you than just, like, filtered garbage. It's hard to get people to believe in that concept.
Do you think it's because they're, like, deeply conditioned?
Yeah, well, because everybody, yeah, pretty much. But not really, because most the people that are gonna buy it already are kind of woke and into natural things, and the type of people that would shop at Sprouts or something. But then it's just getting people to believe in the concept that it's not just a marketing scheme, because everybody who's selling something for the most part is deceptive.
Use manipulation to, like, negatively.
Yeah. So then what I have to do is use manipulation to manipulate them into doing something
positive
that actually is good for them. Yeah.
Same thing, dude. Same thing. I think that's sales. It's like, if you genuinely want to help someone and you feel like you can do that, that's what gives you that confidence that we talked about last night.
Yeah.
You know?
Just get them to do the thing that is best for them.
Yeah, because I think manipulation has a negative. The connotation towards that word is, like, largely negative. I would argue.
Yeah, well, because it's a lot easier to manipulate somebody into doing something that is bad for them and good for you. But you also can manipulate something to doing something that's good for them.
Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people, they don't know what they want. Sometimes they don't know what they need. You know what I'm saying?
Like, if you think you can't afford $50 a week for good water, but you'll pay for the car and then put gas in the car that is like a Porsche and takes premium gas, but you say you want to be healthy.
Yeah, or a lot of people, like, I've done this before, where, like, I'll run my expenses and I'll realize I'm paying like $40 or $50 a month on stuff I'm not even fucking using.
Yeah.
$4 or $5, $10 subscriptions.
Yeah, well, I do it, but it's a lot worse. Dude, honestly, I don't know where the fuck my money is going, because I'm making a good amount of profit, but then I check my bank account and it's not as much. Like, I just don't know what I'm spending my fucking money on.
Are you? I'm sure you're withholding for, like, taxes and stuff, right?
Oh, no, my business, it's not, well, technically not business per se, but it's
tax advantage. You structured it.
It doesn't have to pay tax.
Interesting. That's fucking crazy.
Because what happens is you make a church, right? You start a church, and then churches are non-taxable, and then you get more leeway in terms of, like, doing what you want to do and avoiding certain regulations by starting a church. So you do that, and then you start a trust under that church. So the church holds the trust, and then the trust operates as a banking arm, and then the church also holds the PMA, which is like the outwardly facing relations for the business.
Damn, dude. And you found all this out with just, like, were you using AI a lot to, like, research this stuff, you think?
I ran into a roadblock where I got a message from some some state official saying that I couldn't do what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, that's fucking retarded, because, like, why are you putting regulations on me taking spring water from a well-known spring that's good water and selling it to people?
Yeah.
When, like, the government itself just puts garbage, fluoride, poison, there's uranium in the tap water, but that's not regulated, and that's okay. And I told her that was bullshit. And then I was like, I didn't know what to do about it, because technically she was right. And I was like, I knew that's bullshit. So my friend's dad, who I got the idea from, back when I was living in Jersey, when I was a senior in high school, he had me work at his farm upstate, and he was super into all this shit. And he told me, he gave me the idea to start the water company.
Because the water's really bad in New York too, right?
Yeah, in New Jersey, it's terrible, because they dirty it up with all the factories and shit.
My ex was from Buffalo, and, like, she would talk about how bad the water was there, like, terrible apparently.
Yeah, but then upstate New York, he bought land with a spring on it, and he, like, put me on to how good that water is, and it's like, it just has a different, like, feeling when you taste it. And I remember the first time I tried it, I was like, that wow, that's crazy. So he put me onto that idea, and he's he doesn't like the fucking government getting in his shit. He's super like that as a person, and he knows I had this business. So when I ran into that problem, I called him, and he told me to look up what a private membership association is. And essentially what it means is that I'm not allowed to sell to the public unless I comply with the government health regulations. But if I sell to private members, that's the equivalent of me and you are just in your house together, right? And you give me a bottle of wine, and I like the bottle of wine, so I'm like, can I pay you $20 for it? You don't need a liquor license to sell your friend a bottle of wine for $20. And there's loads and loads of constitutional things to back this up, that like you can operate privately and avoid public regulations as long as you don't like. But basically, when you open an LLC and shit like that, you're opening yourself up to lawsuits and to get fucked by public regulations. But when you do everything privately and you make them sign a private members agreement, which all of them sign before they buy the product, then you have the ability to do a lot more things.
Use like DocuSign or something.
There's a little checkbox at the checkout.
You acknowledge that, you know, or you agree to. That's cool. I saw a clip. It was like I think like Rampage did like a stream with Aiden Ross recently.
I literally saw that yesterday.
Yeah, did you hear what they were saying about like the trusts and stuff?
Yeah, Rampage was saying he's gonna beat the shit out of him. Then Aiden was like, "I'm gonna sue you," and then Rampage was like, "No, you can't sue me. I got all my shit in a trust. It didn't even mine. I don't got shit."
It was fire, dude. But it's like hella smart. It's like, you know, I was like, I kind of had like a nasty thought for a second. I was like, damn. So if I put all my shit in the trust, I could like beat someone's ass. And
pretty much. Well, it's like the jail. But
yeah, that's true. That's true for assault.
The other way it works is like, realistically, I'm probably gonna spend a little bit stupidly once I start making a lot of money, but most of it I'm going to keep in the trust, and I'm just going to buy Bitcoin under the trust and hold it as the trust. And then I'm the sole trustee, but there's two beneficiaries, which is me and Joe, because Joe's buying in for 14% of it.
Cool.
So what we're going to do is borrow money out of the trust, which is non-taxable. Like, you as a beneficiary can borrow money from the trust and they can't tax it.
Kind of be your own bank.
Exactly.
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, people, it's cool to see like people achieve that concept in creative ways. Like a lot of people, I think the perception now with people is like, oh, the path to that is life insurance. And they're just like hell bent on life insurance. But there's other ways to skin that cat.
Yeah, I've heard about I don't know too much about it, but I know you could do some Aikido with the life insurance.
Aikido? That's fire. Yeah, dude. I was, what's that guy's name? That professor on Real World? Adam?
Yeah.
He's an Australian fucker, dude.
Yeah.
He's an interesting cat. I think what the Tate brothers said was they were like, we vet all these guys, and if they're not actually millionaires in real life,
then they're not going to be able to teach the course.
And the guy, like, there's videos of this guy like kickboxing, like, kind of seems like a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, dude, Adam's a fucking G. I love Professor Adam.
Don't you just feel like, I don't know, don't you just feel more inclined to like want to listen to someone if they also train, kind of?
Yeah,
like
because I just have more respect for somebody who doesn't be, and it's not because of other people, it's because of how I look at myself. Like, if I was not actively being, like, even now, like, I can't really spar because of some injuries, and then I don't feel as good about myself because I don't beat people up.
Yeah, and
like, there's just that act of fighting, I just have a lot more respect for people when they do it.
I think if you're really, I don't know, man, this is just like, I really enjoy I don't know. I obviously don't enjoy getting hit in the head anymore, personally. But like, even with like no-gi, like, and there's somebody and they're fucking 290 and they have side control on you and they're fucking on top and you're getting a dose of mother's milk, dude, and you can't breathe. It's like,
and that, get out.
That pit of, yes, that's a good feeling. But also, who the fuck's texting me? That noise just breaks me up in my brain when I'm talking. But it's like that pit of suffering, bro, is like, I feel like you just kind of learn something about yourself each time you get in a position like that.
Like, it's important to go through that, I think.
And I don't think enough probably young men have access to that kind of training a lot of the time.
Well, I mean, not at a high level like Tim's, but there's
right.
a jiu-jitsu gym or fucking Muay Thai or boxing gym around every corner of the street.
Dude, when I lived in Indianapolis, I might have been a dumbass in looking for a gym, but I looked for one for a year and could not find a good gym. Yeah.
A good gym or just gym?
I'm sure there is one and I just didn't find it. But
then it's like if you are a beginner and you don't want to go to somebody who's not going to teach you the fundamentals correctly and then build a foundation upon things that are just completely incorrect.
Yeah. So in like my hometown, Lexington, Kentucky, like there's some gyms, but
probably not going to get that good.
It's tough. So I don't know. I found all this stuff in 2018 at I just quit football, and somebody was like, "Hey, like you should try out like this little gym down the road." It was like Spartan MMA or something, and I was like, "All right, bet." And I went down there and I signed up, but like I would only train like once every 2 months.
Fuck.
Like I don't really consider it like real time doing it, you know, but like I kind of got exposed to it a little bit. And then when I moved out here, I saw Sean fighting and it said Peoria, Arizona. I was like, oh, that's like 5 minutes from me. It just went on down. And that was like 4 years ago, I think.
Pretty fire.
Yeah. What else is going on? What'd y'all talk about on the pod today? You said Iran, Israel, right?
Yeah, dude. David's brother Samuel was a smart little fucker. We asked for it because I knowingly was like, yeah, fuck Israel, like because I don't know what I'm talking. I don't know who's in the right or wrong. I just know that there's some certain people who I don't like that live in that country. But otherwise, anyway, he had like a very insightful and nuanced opinion about it. He knew exactly what was going on. And then I was like, from what he said, I was like, oh, so is it possible Iran tries to nuke us? And he was like, it literally wouldn't even be able to reach us with the technology they have. And then I was like, yeah, he's a smart little fucker.
He knows about like all the like war,
and like
the weapon logistics and shit.
Yeah, and like loads of subjects too. Like we brought up a bunch of different things that he just knew actual factual data on.
There's I don't know any of the specifics of the war. Dude, I'll see like on TikTok sometimes I'll see like drone footage of like a Russian soldier in his last moments and the person operating the drone is just like fucking it's very dark. It's very dark and the drone's just like hovering around him like fucking with him and the soldier's just like sitting there like praying or whatever. And then like the video ends because the thing explodes and like the guy gets smoked. It's crazy, bro. Crazy. And then Ukrainian soldiers, you know, dude, honestly, fuck Ukraine.
Yeah, for real.
Like
that one I know enough about to be like, fuck Ukraine.
I don't like Ukraine and I don't like Israel.
And I don't like my government giving them money.
That's why I don't
launch it back to the politicians that send them the money out of the government's fund. It's fucking bullshit.
Dude, Israel is objectively, right? I don't even think this is an opinion. Objectively, Israel is Netanyahu, very entitled.
I don't know anything about it. This sounds like a prick, though.
Well, they're always just assuming we're gonna help them with their wars.
I understand that. Yeah,
they're entitled as fuck, and you know,
that makes Iran dislike us more that we're supporting a country that they're in opposition with. Which I mean, I don't really give. We could smoke either one of those pussies, but it's like, why even get? It just doesn't make any sense to get involved,
dude. I tried to pull it up here, but I got to log in or whatever. But
we have a bunch of fucking immigrants we gotta deport. We don't have money to be sending to these fucking cons.
Dude, it's like
long-nosed bastards.
Yeah, bro. It's like, and Iran was talking shit at us.
Oil prices.
Yeah, oil prices probably, the market went down 1% this week, the broad market, and then oil's just fucking, if you own, like we own some oil companies for clients, like they're probably kicking ass right now. I haven't looked specifically how much the prices or how prices move this week, but dude, there's this fucking Iran, military account. Oh, they restricted it. You can't see it on there because my Chromecast is fucking up. But this Iran military account was like, the United States will feel us. Like,
no, we won't.
Talking mad shit, bro.
Talking. Well, that kind of makes me want to be like, all right, fine, give the Jews the money.
Yeah, for real. But it's like, okay, so oil's up 7.34% today.
That's nuts.
It's up 12.5% the last 5 days. So, yeah, I mean,
10x long on it.
Oh man, that's crazy. And then just like,
so if I put $700 in oil and then I went 10x long, what would be the liquidation? Well, let's call it 5x long. What would be the liquidation price? And then how much would I make if it went up?
So how much shares of oil would you buy? Or how many shares?
Say 10 shares of it. It's at 70 right now, right?
Yeah, let me see. Oil futures ETF. Crude oil ETF list. So let's say like USO, United States Oil Fund. Give me the damn stock, not this other shit. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. So if you bought 7 shares
at 5x leverage, and that would be
yeah. So you would have got, if you had 5x leverage, you would have gotten about, what's 6 times 5, 30. You would have gotten about 30% today. Actually, probably a little like more like 35%.
Can be pretty sweet.
If you were 5x leveraged, if it was over 5 days.
Dude, I feel like just holding a company like Lockheed and just only selling it when news comes out that there's fucking tension in the Middle East, it was just fucking golden strat.
That's what your boy Adam was talking about on like looking at cryptocurrency. I wish my fucking Chromecast. I might. We're flowing good. I'll try to fix it at some point. But like he'll do like, these are like your zones of opportunity, right? Those vertical lines or whatever. I'm going to take a screenshot of this, throw it on the screen. But like, I don't know. I think maybe what you're talking about with like something like Lockheed would be like following it in a cyclical like zone of opportunity.
No, I'm saying like, you just initially buy a fuck ton of Lockheed, right? Mm-hmm. And then anytime some dickhead bombs somebody or something in the Middle East, then you just sell the Lockheed and then wait for it to go low and then you buy again.
Yeah. It could be, because Lockheed, that's like, they're like military equipment type shit, right?
I would check the price of that. That probably went up a fuck ton.
Yeah.
Anytime something happens in the Middle East.
Lockheed Martin. Yeah, it's up big.
How much?
4%. Let's see. In the last 5 days, it's actually pretty flat, 0.51. Damn. I don't know. Yeah, after hours, it's up 1%. It must have done like 2.5% yesterday, Friday. But I mean, the stock's already pretty expensive. It's $4.86 a share. So it's like, maybe that has something to do with it. Past 6 months hadn't done great. Year to date, it's about flat, about 1%.
Yeah, that's a pretty shit idea then. Never mind.
Yeah, but they pay, let me see, they pay a decent dividend, 2.71%, just for holding it. So, I mean, I don't know if we've ever owned that for clients or not, but...
So do you do how do the operations work? Like, do you just manage all our portfolios?
Yeah, we have a core portfolio and we just get together every week and like talk about shit. And it's like, okay, we're going to take a 1% position here. We're going to cut, half this position or whatever, But some weeks we don't change anything.
So does that really not take you a lot of time to do the actual operations?
I mean, obviously you want to do like your day-to-day reading. You want to read and like know what's going on. And then that way when you get there that hour every week, you have something to kind of bring to the table and talk about with everybody else that's experienced. But yeah, it's... I don't know. I think if you're really good at like being an advisor or anything like that, or just like doing it for yourself, like the only way you're going to get good is like reading every day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the way Adam teaches it is like he'll systemize everything. So his discretionary opinion is just not like he doesn't actually make any discretionary opinions. And what he'll do is because again, for Bitcoin, like the data that you look at is very different for stocks. It's not like a performance based company. So he'll just aggregate a bunch of data together in like 7 different categories, and he'll take something called a Z-score, which basically measures the standard deviation up or down from the mean. And then for each piece of data, he'll score it positive or negative up to like 2 or 3, and then basically aggregate it together and create a cumulative like Z-score of the market on a value of like long-term valuation based. And then that's one part of the system, and that determines like when you DCA and shit. And then the other part is like a medium term one, which is like when it's long on the medium one, that's when you would use a little bit of leverage if it's coherent with the long one, with a long-term one.
Lever it up like 2-3x.
Yeah. That's why we wouldn't really go over that if you're being responsible.
Yeah, probably off like Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then they're also, and I'm not really as involved in this because I don't have enough saved up for it to really be worth my time, but I'll also pick a dominant major between Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol using ratio analysis and see like which one of them is in a probabilistic range of outcomes going to outperform the other ones.
Yeah, because he said in the intro video of that campus that if you log in for like 14 days straight,
then you get his signals.
You get you get like his portfolio. So I'm interested to see that. It's like, dude, I could look at something like that as like, oh, I already know enough about this stuff. Yeah. But I'm like, fuck, what do I have to lose just from throwing $100 at it and seeing what else I can learn?
And then it's like, if you're interested in it too, then it's like kind of fun. Yeah.
I mean, dude, the AI campus on Real World seems pretty cool too.
Which part of it did you look at?
I haven't looked at it yet, but the high level concept sounds cool because like, I really like asking AI to do something and it just spits out code.
Right.
Like I think I said it, I think we talked about this already, but like, I was trying to find a tool online that would help me illustrate the cumulative loss people experience from mutual fund fees that they don't even know about.
So just fucking made one.
Couldn't find one, fucking made one, and just spat it out. And I've been using it almost every meeting now. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like
that'd be a good lead generation tool.
Yeah, probably.
To be like, click here and find out how much you're losing. It's from the mutual fund, whatever. I remember what it was.
Yeah. I think it would, dude, honestly, I think it would just be cool and fun and maybe not take as much time to just like spit out like little software products and see if businesses want to buy them.
Dude, I had such a good idea from what they taught. They have basically an automated lead generation tool for business to business shit that they made inside the AI automation campus. And I was thinking about like white labeling it and just making that interface, making it and then putting it inside an interface, which would take like maybe a few weeks. And then what it does is like you just pick out an area on a map. Let's say you're like a marketing agency, you put in the type of businesses that you want to sell to, and then it'll automatically find 200, 500 businesses, and then find the decision maker's email, like pick it out using a certain software, and then automatically do all this, and then send them a personalized email.
Damn.
And then I was thinking about like white labeling that and then selling it to business to business companies, just a bunch of marketing agencies and shit. And then you could charge like $500 a month for something like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that would be pretty minimal. Like, if you're speaking on a big scale, like day to day, like something like that, once you sell the client, other than just like hard maintenance on the actual software,
there's no back end.
There's nothing else to do. And so you could just
focus all your time and energy into getting new customers and marketing and sales.
You putting all the time in up front, and then you continue to get paid after you,
whatever I do once the water company's like scaled fully, it's probably going to be some more like that where the product is online and I don't really need to worry about the back end too much. I'm not limited by like physical ability to fulfill orders.
Well, it's like if you're developing software like that and you do that over and over again, and you like, let's say you do it for fun in your spare time, you still are giving yourself a shot to be fucking talking to venture capitalists one day.
Bro, and then in the real world, they said to give AI a prompt and be like, give me X amount of ideas to use AI automation to make a fuck ton of money. And one of the ideas they came up with is something like that, what I just mentioned, but instead the functionality is to like go through a bunch of listings and find businesses or things that are like, it's a very good buying opportunity and sell that software to VCs.
So the software is helping you prospect pretty much?
Yeah. So like, okay, I'll give you an example, right? Like I scroll through LoopNet sometimes just for fun and look at business listings. There was this one Topgolf that was like, it was selling for $6 million, which sounds like a lot until you realize they do like 26 mil a year in revenue, and probably a good chunk profit. That would have been found by the software that I just described. And then venture capital places could use it. And let's say they see a hotel that somebody needs to get rid of, but it's performing well. Like companies like that could use that software.
I don't have any experience, obviously, doing something like that yet. A lot of people that I hear talk that do it say that the best deals tend to come off market.
Yeah.
By like apparently, and again, I don't have any personal experience doing
that. Makes sense.
I'm the messenger, but that's what they say is like the off market deals. But it's like the barrier to that sounds so high. It's like
because you need to know somebody.
You have to, and it's like I don't think the right way to like go about networking is to meet someone right off the bat and like expect to get something out of it. I think a lot of like I definitely used to carry myself that way, and like I learned that doesn't, at least not for me, doesn't work. So it's like you kind of just,
that's more of an to get an off market deal like that sounds like something that's like very opportunistic.
Yeah. It's like you just have to know somebody, and I mean, how do you go about that? It really just kind of has to. Maybe you get some experience like doing some LoopNet deals or whatever. I don't know. Like,
or no, just go to like a high-end bar in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
You don't even need to drink. You can just go to places where the rich people are at.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like running a restaurant or anything like that would be like,
I'm not saying to run one.
Yeah, like I don't think I'd ever want to fucking run a restaurant.
Yeah, they operate on very, very slim margins. That'd be a complete. But that's like, if you're looking to make money, it's probably one of the worst ways you could do it.
Because like, think about it. Think about like developing software versus like saying I want to be in the restaurant business.
It would be faster to develop the software.
Yeah, and less investment too.
Yeah, like the restaurant, you get a lease, you need a liquor license, a food license, so now you're already like damn near $500K in the hole before you've even made $1.
Yeah,
at least, I mean, unless you start a food truck or start low, but even then, like at least with the software online products, you at least can get a proof of idea before you fucking spend money and time on it.
Yeah, I don't know what you think about like e-commerce. Is that
drop shipping or e-commerce? Because they're two kind of different things.
It's like, more e-com, I guess.
Because e-com, like what I do technically is e-com is just selling shit online.
Yeah. It's like, if you don't, I don't know. I've never done it. I've tried it. I've tried to make like a Shopify store before, like just for shits and gigs.
Before my water company, I literally tried 4 to 5 different drop shipping stores.
Yeah.
Just failed miserably. I'd never sold anything to somebody that wasn't in my family. It was really bad.
Did you do stuff that like it ordered on demand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they buy it, I get X margin, and then it automatically ships to them, but nobody bought it, so it didn't really matter.
I feel like it's hella cutthroat, bro.
Yeah, the thing is you have to have the money to keep testing products until you find one that actually sells.
Yeah. And having that resolve and that resilience and not allowing yourself to probably get like mentally fucked with when you fail.
Yeah.
And like getting back up.
When I decided to try it, I did not have enough money to actually run a drop shipping store.
Mm-hmm. Damn. Yeah, the guy that runs the marketing team, the guy that runs the company that does my marketing for me, the moment he sold me on working with them was when he told me that he got started in e-com and like had success. And I was like, okay.
Oh, so that's how he learned how to do the paid ads properly?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, dude, because that's cutthroat as shit. Like, I don't know. So I hired him, and it's been good. But yeah, it just seems like I don't even know if I'm gonna like even look at that in the real world, because I just don't know if
that guy's, how many leads do you get a month?
It depends, but I would say anywhere from 15 to 20 appointments a month. Something like that.
But how not appointments, but like how many phone numbers does he pull for you to call a month?
If it's just contacts, probably more like 30 to 40.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because a lot of people, they'll fill out the form, but then they don't take the last step to actually book an appointment, but I still get their info. So if you're talking those people, I normally don't chase those people.
Yeah.
Because if they're not, at least in my sales cycle, it's like, if they're not going to click a fucking button to book an appointment,
then they're
probably not a buyer.
Yeah, and then like I'll get people saying like, people who sign up on or how the fuck do you say? They'll say, how much does water cost? And it's just clearly listed. And some of those people, I won't even bother to fucking.
There'll be a problem for you.
Yeah.
Because they're already, they haven't even talked to you yet, and they're already putting like all of the onus on you to be like, hey, even though the price is right here, can you tell me how much it costs?
Yeah,
it's like, fuck out of here. Like, you know, I feel like you could, those people you could kind of tell right away, like if they're a bad fit or not.
Yeah. No, but I was gonna say for 3K, I don't know, for you individually, I think, because when there's a funnel like that involves 2 steps, it's like marketing to get the leads and sales to close them.
Yeah.
It's probably a lot more efficient to outsource it to somebody. But then I think you definitely could get a lot better numbers than like 40 leads a month.
Yeah. You know, there's probably better ways to do it. I mean, honestly, dude, I was just fucking feeling so stuck the first year of like kind of running my own shop, just cold calling, banging my head against, going to networking events. I mean, it was disgusting. It was kind of that same thing where you just meet person after person that like knows that like you probably want to sell to them, but then they're thinking about their shit and they're trying to sell their shit to you, and you're like, please, like, fuck off. You know, it's just weird. So like I spent a year like doing all that, and I was like, fuck it, dude, I gotta create some motion for myself. Like, this seems like a decent solution. And so I spent like 48 hours thinking about it. And then I was like, all right, if I don't do this now, like I'm just going to stay stuck. And I just fucking did it.
Yeah. That's when you're in charge of your own company or your own hustle, it's like the hardest part is like giving yourself work to do and figuring out.
Yes.
That's also the fun part at the same time, that it's not just linear. I go to a place and they give me money and I push buttons like cash register. Like it's like a game of chess. You get to analyze like what has been happening. Has it been working? And if not, what can I try that might actually work?
You have to give yourself a good dose of reality too if it's not going well.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel like sometimes you can fall into this trap of like telling yourself a story like, but I did this and I did this and I did this, and it's like you got to be fucking. I feel like you got to be. At least I had to be with myself, fucking ruthless.
Just very objective.
And just be like, look, dude, we got to change something. You know, you get to a point where the pain of, what's the adage? The pain of staying the same is less than the pain of change. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
No, I've heard that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But then, well, fuck. CT.
What else? I mean, those clays, they got a good idea of like you said, like you could talk to them probably about the damn war artillery that Iran and Israel have all day, and they know, like, I don't even know.
Off the top of his head, Samuel just knew that they only had like 1,000-kilometer range. I was like, what the fuck?
How the like? I wonder what his YouTube homepage looks like. I feel like that's it, dude. If I am hanging out with a girl, and let's say I'm over there or whatever, the first thing I typically do is say, let's see your YouTube homepage. Yeah. Because that'll tell you what the fuck you're working with, I think. Sometimes you'll see like Sabrina Carpenter on there and it'd be like, all right.
I don't even know who that is.
It's
Just some four.
yeah, it's this pop singer that is really popular with girls right now, and she kind of puts on like this man eater persona.
Oh, God.
It's horrible, dude. Like I saw a clip on Twitter the other day, and it was like a music video, I guess, or like it was like a 2-3 second clip, and she's sitting in a bathtub with two pigs, and she's like, "Hi, men," and it's like,
kill yourself.
yeah. And then 2 days later, she drops an album cover where a man is literally like holding her hair, and she's like down on her knees like a dog. And so it's like, which one is it? What are you trying to do?
No.
It's interesting, but
Slap the bitch.
yeah. Oh, I don't know, dude. It's like, I saw this email that I wanted to show you. I think it was talking about like female roles in society or something. Let me see.
Make me a sandwich.
Yeah. Make me my coffee. Let's see. I started. It had some controversial. Can women have I wish I could put it up on the screen, but you just have to look at it. Can a woman have a career and a family simultaneously?
No.
So he says, this guy, I don't know if you've heard of this guy, Life Math Money. He's an Indian dude, but he's kind of like Walmart Tate, I would guess. You know, maybe
Indian Tate.
7-Eleven Tate. And some of his emails, they're wise. If by career you mean working an 8-hour corporate office job, you have to keep your overall workload, home and career manageable so you can actually enjoy life and not get turned into a pack mule who works all day but never enjoys the fruits of their labor.
Why would you even want to do that? I don't understand.
Work and have kids as a woman, you mean?
Yeah, or just work as a woman.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty. I mean, I'm just gonna sound like I'm repeating what Tate says, but it's like, for the entire time humans have existed, like, the man gets the food and the money and to take care of the kids, and for some reason they're propagating for that to change all of a sudden.
I don't know. It's because even like some of these like feminists, like ladies, they'll be like, "Oh, I want a man to take care of me," but also
They're
like
fat and desire that.
Yeah, it's like it's a tough one. But this guy says too much success is a woman's enemy. This is an interesting thing that most women have trouble understanding. Women are hypergamous. That means they're hardwired to be attracted to men who are better than them. They want a guy who's taller, smarter, funnier, makes more money, older than them, etc. Very few 30-year-old women are sexually attracted to an 18-year-old coffee shop waiter.
But I fucked a lot of 30-year-old women, so.
But it says the opposite is not true. You start making too much money, it get very hard to find a suitable match for you. A woman with an online business can make $10K a month at 26 while living in India. How many men who are 27 to 30 make $10K plus a month in India? Very few. So the pool for potential matches becomes smaller, and you have to compromise. I'm not sure what the optimal solution. I doubt most women have the brains and balls. This guy is fucking talking shit to make $10K a month from the internet at 26, so it might be a theoretical problem. Interesting. I don't know. I don't really know what, I guess, the point he was making. Maybe I'm retarded.
I'm pretty sure he just said no, pretty much.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm getting pissed because I'm doing very good for my age, but I'm getting pissed off that I don't have enough money for a Lambo yet.
Yeah, that's the thing I've been thinking about a lot. Is like I want to make sure that at some point I'm young and also rich.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, because it's not fun when you're old, and it's not just that, like, being 35 and having the Lambo and a fucking crazy amount of money would be sick still, but then it's like there's nothing like being 20, like in your fucking 20s and you have all that shit.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about that lately because
special about it.
Yeah, I just think about, like, I try and take time to think about where I'm at sometimes, and, you know, I have a joint out back or whatever and just think about stuff, and I'm like, you know, I'm talking me personally. Like I've improved, I've gotten better in so many areas, but like I'm still not happy with where I'm at yet. So, and why is that? It's because I want to have the opportunity to like be young and like be rich.
Just go to Vegas with $100,000 in your bank account.
Do whatever you like. Just a couple years with like no kids, no lady.
Just do literally whatever the fuck you want.
You're in your physical prime. Yeah, like all that shit. It's like I really want that. And so it's like, yeah, you know, when I get stressed, I'm like, motherfucker, you gotta be stressed if you want that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Stress is a good thing. Like you should feel stress.
Like it's like because I definitely, at least when I'm not doing all the things I'm supposed to do, like in terms of taking care of myself, I'll definitely be susceptible to getting in that mind frame of like, oh, I'm so tired, and you know, I'm so in my head, I don't even know what I'm gonna eat. And it's like, snap out of it, bitch. Break the cycle. You're back in the fucking fold. You're back getting better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then it's like sometimes when I have a good week, and it's like there's very few times where I get to just like not need to do anything and I get to choose. Sometimes when that happens, I'll just kind of like start fucking off a little bit, and maybe for like 6 hours, I'll be like, "Well, I have a pretty nice house now. Like life's pretty good. Like maybe I'm doing pretty good." But then after it, I'll be like, "No, fuck that. I need the Lambo now so I can flex."
It's like
and then start working again.
Yeah. It's like, and you probably like what you're doing too. You probably enjoy it, so that's helped. That helps.
Dude, I wrote this script for an ad last night that it's like, because they in the copywriting campus they teach you like the secrets to fucking marketing and selling shit on the internet, and it felt like it was art. Like I got a general. Okay, so there's 3 things that you need to. Imagine like 3 bars, right, that a consumer has in their head when they're buying shit from you. 1 is how much they desire the product. 2 is do they believe in the mechanism of it solving whatever solution does. And 3 is do they believe in the company. So I had to analyze it and be like, well, do they desire? They wouldn't have because right now what I'm trying to do is I get a lot of followers from the paid ads that I'm running that they still engage but haven't bought directly from the paid ads. So now I'm trying to create organic content so those people see it and then buy. So I was like, well, they probably desire the product, otherwise they wouldn't have followed. Right? Like otherwise they would just scroll past it. They probably it's a pretty reputable company. Like it looks pretty legit. They have a nice website. So it has to be the belief in the mechanism. So then I talked to ChatGPT about that, plugged in the target audience, and then said, create me a script. And then I was like literally editing every single portion of it. And afterwards I felt like I'd crafted like art. Like, yeah. It was like my ability. And again, I'm sending this to my editor, and he's like my teammate too, so that's pretty fucking sick. But then it's like my ability to make shit that people see online that turns into dollars in my bank account has surpassed just the dollars in my bank account. Now the process of it is an art.
It's all of a sudden like worthwhile to you just to like be in flow in the process. Yeah. Creating that.
Yeah.
That's fire. And so you take the target audience, like what do you give GPT?
So in the copywriting campus, they have a bunch of like preset like GPT models that it's called the Copy Command Center, which is like that you can only access it in the real world. They'll give you a link, and then it's like one of the plugins to ChatGPT essentially. So they'll give you a prompt, right, to say this is my target audience, or no, not necessarily. They'll give you a prompt to say what's the best funnel for my product, and it'll give you the best funnel, and then it'll ask you for the target audience. I'm starting right now. Give me a second. And then you'll plug in a bunch of shit, and it'll tell you what the target audience is based on market research that it does on the internet. And then it'll go through Google reviews and shit and tell you exactly what that demographic is looking for. And then once you do that, like you stay on the GPT and it has all the information that it's basically fed itself via your prompt. You say, okay, make me a creative for this with the objective of that, and I want like minus 50 cents cost per click. And then it'll cook it up, and then I'll see it. And from the knowledge I know and what works, I'll be like, all right, this hook isn't strong enough. We need to make the hook more captivating. Okay, we're going to need to condense this part a little bit.
You think the hook's the most important part?
I don't think there is a most important part.
Yeah,
and I think every part of it has its own job, right? Like, first of all, you have to, like for the one I just did, for example, you have to have some educational meat in there so that people don't realize they're being advertised to. So the hook's job is to get them to pay attention to the rest of the video. The educational part's job is to teach them why what they're doing is wrong and explain to them why your mechanism is the correct mechanism to fix their problem. For example, right? So it'll say maybe the reason why you still feel tired after having a second cup of coffee, again, analyzes the target audience and to a T figures out exactly what they're going through that my product can solve.
Damn.
Or say you're having this problem and then explains why spring water delivered in glass is the solution to fix it, and then at the end is the CTA, and then it leads to my website, and then the website's job is to sell them on it. And then you zoom out, and every part of the sales funnel has its own job. All the ad's job is to do is you're not trying to sell them the product with the ad, you're trying to sell the click with the ad. So the ad's job is to sell the click, and then the website's job is to sell the product.
Damn. And I feel like you could probably always, like, I don't know. I haven't really done e-commerce like that, but it seems like there's always probably something to fine tune and maybe make a little better. And that's probably the fun part.
That's the hard part with a website too, is like, I'm always looking at it and I'm always looking at the conversion rate numbers, but then at the same time, it's like, I don't want to over optimize it. You know what I mean?
And think too hard on it. And that makes sense. Cause again, it seems like a fine line with that shit where you got to put thought into it and you got to be very intentional, much like the process you just described, but also on the other end, it's like, I can't sit there and paralyzed because I'm over analyzing, you know?
And then the other part is like finding the right places to put attention to, for example, right? So what happens is like when you run the same advertisement to the same audience, there's something called fatigue, which is when somebody sees the same ad over and over again and the cost per click increases and the conversion rates decrease too. So what I figured out was like I was running one ad and having a lot of success with it, but then I saw over time my conversion rates changed. So then I plugged those variables into ChatGPT and it said the audience quality is not as high. So what I did was I took a list of all my current subscribers and it had a lifetime value box that I plugged into Meta and it created an audience for me and it weighted every single person in terms of their lifetime value and then gave them, it created basically an audience with like 1% similarity, like top 1% similarity to each person, and it created a lookalike audience, and then I ran the ad to that audience instead.
And it's like it's basically like your creme de la creme, like buyers.
Yeah,
that it's mimicking.
And then the conversion rates start to climb back up.
Damn, dude. This is very tactical.
Yeah.
Very and you probably have to check that shit like every day.
Yeah, pretty well. The thing is, there's also a level of like, and this is what I have the hardest time with is like when my website gets maybe 200 visitors a day, right? When it's that low of a number, it takes longer to get statistically significant data. So that's the hard part is like one day I can have 200 people click and then one person buys, and then the next I could have the same amount of people click and 5 people buys. So what I have a very hard time doing is just sitting and waiting and not actually doing anything because I know at some points I don't have enough statistically significant data to actually analyze what's going on.
To analyze why maybe one day you have 5 buyers as opposed to the next day you only have like 1 buyer.
Yeah. Like if it can fluctuate like that in between days, if it's only 400 people, there's a lot of room for just literally random variance.
Yeah. Cause you could, I mean, there's probably a lot of like places where, you know, the sale could hit a snag, you know? So it's like, I wonder how you could, I'm sure there's a way at some point you could figure out how to track that.
Track what?
Well, I guess exactly. Can you see when you see, okay, 200 visitors, 5 buyers, like you can see in detail like what their interactions were with the website? And
Oh yeah,
stuff
I
like
get replays of everybody on the website, like their entire journey. Like even if they click off, I get a replay of how they scroll through my website.
So what do you, I mean, and so there's what you're saying is there's no difference in the sales journey on the website when you have 1 buyer out of 200 versus 5. I don't know if I'm asking the question the right way.
What are you? I need to understand like what you're trying to ask.
I'm just trying to figure out if there's a way you could get that insight so that you're like, okay, here's why 5 bought instead of 1. And you might not be able to either. It might just be by.
Yeah, I mean, you could watch the replays, but then a lot of it is going to come down to random variance and like traffic quality.
Yeah, I think it's probably just random
at that scale. But then if you have 10,000, but then once you have like 10,000 sessions over a period of time, that's enough to compare it and be like, or not even 10,000, maybe like 5,000 website sessions. That's enough to compare it and be like, okay, something's wrong here.
Something's not converting right. Something's bottlenecking. Damn, dude.
Or if I'm spending a lot of money and getting a high CPC, low CPC, so the ad's efficient, but then the conversion rate's off, then it's either a problem with website traffic, or there's a problem with like the traffic quality, or there's a problem with the website.
Do you do ads on YouTube or just like Facebook, Instagram?
Just YouTube. I do Google ads too, but
oh really?
It's just the search ads.
What do you think? Which one do you think at this point has done the best for you? Facebook?
Yeah, that also is where most of the money has gone to, is Facebook. But the thing is, it's like, first of all, you have to understand the difference between an active and a passive funnel, right? Active means like I'm searching for it. I'm trying to find water delivery, versus passive is like you're scrolling and then you see it. And then which one is better is very much so going to come down to what you're selling and what the business is. So I get like pretty consistent off of Google, like a few a day. But the thing is, there becomes a point of diminishing return where anything over like $40 to $50 ad spend per day, you're not going to get the highest quality traffic because it's going to go too far. And I use the Google ads as like a net to catch the people who I know are searching for it, versus the passive one, the passive funnel, the people who are scrolling it. That's when I can make a video advertisement educating the people about it, right? And then some people will buy, but then those people who don't buy, I can retarget with another offer.
So how many offers do you have at any time for people in that category, like 2 or 3 different ones?
By offer, you mean like sign up and get
like the follow-up offer that you're talking about?
Well, that's the thing, is like those honestly have not worked for me very well.
Really?
And because I've tried and I've given pretty good ones, right? Like I even did like sign up now and get your first order for $9 when it's supposed to be $45. But even then, it's like, it's because it's framed as a luxury product, it's like
kind of degrades the perception.
Yeah,
a little
exactly.
bit.
It's like the people who are gonna buy are gonna buy it, and I feel like for my model, as far as I've seen, the offers have not really worked that well.
Yeah, cool. 'Cause, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you pay attention to like how like Mountain Valley Water does business.
Yeah.
Like, dude, they fucking, if you go to a Costco, or I'm just spitballing, I've seen it at other stores, and they sell like, 24 packs of them or whatever. It's like $40-$50.
Yeah, and that's not even 5 gallons.
Yeah, it's like it's frankly, like I'm in a space where it was like, if I'm looking at Mountain Valley, I'm like, I'm not fucking buying that. I'd rather buy from you. But it's like, that's I mean, I drink that fucking tap out of that fridge still. I should probably change that up.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do a lot of the marketing based on, is because I think, again, the idea of the mechanism working, I think, is where I need to spend a lot of my marketing allocation to. And it's going to be very important to educate people on why those filters don't actually, it filters out like chlorine, yeah, but it doesn't filter out uranium. Like there's literally fucking uranium in the tap water.
I feel like there's so many different chemicals like that are bad for you that just, they aren't considered, like they aren't legally considered to be said, hey, like you need to keep this shit out.
Yeah.
Like it seems like they're very fucking loose with
They're probably doing it on purpose, in my opinion.
to keep you down a little bit.
Well, yeah. Number one, like at a large enough scale, it fucking ends up neutering the population where like people who don't have any healthy habits and then drink the fluoride and the shit on top of that are going to be much less likely to have a problem with anything the government does. But then another part is like if you keep going up the ladder, all of these companies own the same. Like all of these things are owned by the same companies. So the same people who put shit in the water, who put garbage in the food, who do those things also own the hospitals, so they get better margins by feeding you shit and then not caring about the tap water and almost intentionally contaminating it. So then on the back end, when you get severe illness from the things that they put in the food and water, that they
gotta pay the healthcare system.
Yeah. And then because those are the people that own the politicians. So obviously the politicians aren't going to have a problem with the uranium and fluoride in the water when the people who are paying to put them in office make money on the back end when they treat the illnesses.
So fucked, dude. But that's what they talk about in the real world. They say you have an option to break free from all that shit.
Yeah.
It's like...
And that's what it is before anything. It's the freedom before anything else. Like I want the Lambos and the fucking huge mansion, but then it's free. The freedom comes before all of that.
Because I mean, even if you're getting like $30K a month, you're probably gonna feel rich. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like you said, like you have that freedom at that point. Let's say you got 30 bands a month coming in. You got the freedom, you know. But like you said, then when you get to like 50 or 100 a month, then it's like, it's fucking on.
You could just do whatever. I think $50K a month, you could do literally whatever you want for the most part, other than like private jets.
PJ? Fucking...
Because that'll run you $20K.
Per trip, huh?
But other than PJs, I think $50K a month and you literally could do whatever you want.
PJs, maybe, I don't know. Like, do you have any interest in boats?
Not really. I mean, if I would probably rent one, but we're also in Arizona, so it's kind of like...
Connor's got there are some, the Lambo yacht's badass, isn't it? Yeah. It's fucking sleek ass bad bitch, dude. But no, there's like Lake Pleasant's nice. Saguaro Lake's pretty badass, about an hour and a half from here. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, but like you said, like you're not going to take a Lambo yacht out on a lake, you know, but I think one thing I would like to do is get a wakeboarding boat.
Yeah, it'd be sick
to have on the lake somewhere. Because I don't know. Have you ever wakeboarded before?
I've tried.
Yeah, it took me about 2 summers to like even get up.
I'm more of a tubing guy.
Tubing? Yeah, tubing's bad. Because especially if you got like a sporty ass boat, dude, and you're
fucking whipping it.
Oh, dude, it's a hell of a fucking forearm workout hanging on to that thing, dude. I remember one time when I was in high school, my girlfriend at the time, her dad was a mobster in the 80s.
That's sick.
Yeah, but he ratted on all his boys and stuff. So it's like, you know, made it less cool. But he kind of, you know, I was the boyfriend and he was driving the boat and he was like, Clark, why don't you, he's a mean motherfucker. He's short too. I don't mean to dog on him. I got no hard feelings these days, but like, you know, he was like, let me whoop up on this kid a little bit on the tube. And I swear to God, boy, I hung onto that thing with all my fucking might. I knew what he was trying to do too. And he flipped me upside down at one point and I was just riding on my back like, fuck you. And I wrestled the thing down. Oh, dude. Sick. I mean, that's the memory I have from tubing. Because, you know, you got some of the easy tubes, right, where you like sit back and, you know, you're like riding on your ass.
Gay.
Yeah, hella gay. It's like boogie boarding versus surfing, you know what I'm saying? But like when you have that one where you're laying flat on your stomach and you got it, that's a fucking workout.
It is. It's probably why I'm such a good grappler.
Oh yeah. I didn't even do none of that shit at the time. But all right, we're at 58. Perfect, right on time. Bang bang.